This is Citizen Ed of Citizen Star News with This Week in Star Citizen. Here with Ricko, say hello.
No, maybe. Okay, hi.
Trendane.
What? Oh, hi. Yeah. Sorry.
And Zhane.
Oh, hi.
I'm glad we caught Trendane before he started eating.
I've still got like 30 chips left in the bowl, so we're okay for now.
So, as already mentioned, 1.1 is being released now, with much rejoicing.
Yay.
So, this includes Retaliator Hangar Ready, Gladius Flyable, new Damage State Tech, REC, Rental Equipment Credits. All existing backers get 5,000 REC.
Ooh.
Woohoo! Isn't that cool?
Yeah, because they probably won't earn any otherwise.
For a while at least. Till things get smoothed out, and they have to do certain things to, particularly multiplayer, like getting these free-for-all furballs and stuff that turns out not a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are doing solo and co-op.
Did you say free-for-all furballs? Because that sounds like a Trendane thing.
Yeah, Trendane's getting all over that now.
Is that how we get Trendane into the Star Citizen thing?
I think he's eating peanut butter.
Probably eating people.
No, now I have 13 chips left.
Oh.
Oh,
He's
there
cute.
we go. So we also have new human figure skeleton called a rig and animations. New weapon mounting system. Gimbal mounts are available in stores. The weapon mounting system has been the subject of a lot of conversation. I'm not going to get into it too much because I know they're going to figure out the issue. There's a landing system, which is fun so far as we can tell. Co-op free flight. A lot of people are really excited about this because it allows them to basically play around with their friends. What the heck's going on? Excited about that. Under the hood, the 64-bit double precision is in the build. Maps haven't changed yet, but they will be in releases. It's pretty exciting to see a lot of these foundational things get into 1.1.
Yeah, it does. It's starting to feel like, I mean, we got a long way to go, but it's starting to feel like, you know, that GIF meme that gets posted with the guy going, "It's happening." That's what it's starting to feel like.
Yep. Really exciting. But it took a while to nail this release down. We've been kind of expecting it any day for 2 weeks now. It's finally going out there. I haven't gotten a chance to start it yet, but I have uninstalled my client, which you have to do now. And there's a installation guide, which basically goes over, and as mentioned earlier for the news segment, if you've got custom files there, like keybinds and things like that, you might want to make a copy of those before install, because you'll lose them. You have to set everything up from scratch, which you may want to do anyway, so who knows. So that's pretty exciting stuff. There were some notes on the release and everything that was talking about how, in addition to all the other Foundation stuff they did, they're also doing some significant changes on the installer. They moved the CDN, the Content Delivery Network, from, I believe it was Rackspace, to Amazon CloudFront. And that's supposed to fix a lot of the bugged installs people were getting, where they would get, a file or various things that would just kill their install and they never be able to get.
Yeah, that would be nice. It happened a lot.
Yeah. So that was a really big deal. It was frustrating for a lot of people because they would be getting into the game and then all of a sudden it was like broken. They couldn't fix it.
Like Ricko broke the chat widget.
I break everything.
So, yeah. Ricko.
Yeah. What? I didn't do it.
What are you doing now?
Nothing. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. It's not working.
Well, I'm glad you're nowhere near the DevOps team at Star Citizen CIG
Oh,
right now.
that would be bad.
That would be bad for people.
But we're seeing this stuff improve, and we're seeing that they're making a lot of progress. So super excited about it. So I want to talk about the Citizen Star of the Week. This is something that I've been kind of doing recently, picking a community member that's done a lot of work for the community and should be recognized. My pick for this week is Clifford, aka Miko. Is he still around?
I don't know. He wasn't with us in the chat though.
Regular StarCast host, super fan. Big super fan of Chris Roberts and Vocaloid Miku, which is, I understand a lot less, but that's a Japanese anime-esque singer. But we won't talk about that. Got all the old Chris Roberts games now signed. He's more ships than I do, and in fact, this is one of the reasons why I'm picking him. Is he actually makes me feel humble about and that I might actually be a lightweight pledger. Very few people around that actually could.
Clifford would be one of those.
Yes. He also brought us the bootleg of the South by Southwest presentation party last week.
Right.
He and Squirrel did that over WTFO's stream. If you want, I actually put up a picture there. You could play that on in the notes. That big ass long.
I should probably have the notes open. Come to think of it.
Yeah, I should probably have those open. Let me. Damn. There we go. Don't blame the monkey. Don't blame the monkey.
So, thanks a lot, Clifford, and I appreciate it. To make me seem like a reasonable, unobsessed fan. Appreciate everything you do and your contribution to StarCast. So how about those Squadron 42 spoilers, guys? Check these out.
Yeah.
No, don't spoil anything.
Well, Chris Roberts spoiled it.
Don't do it.
So Blaster published an interview of what appears to be spoilers on the Squadron 42 story. But I actually asked the question, are they really spoilers? To me, it's new information, but I think they're really a preview of what we'll be seeing in the future marketing.
I don't know. He didn't spoil anything that you wouldn't see in a teaser trailer if it were a movie.
Exactly. So can we talk about it, Ricko, or are you going to flip?
I'm not talking to you anymore.
It's like it's the most basic of basic outlines of the story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mope, cry.
Okay. We don't care.
So he introduced. We kind of knew before that there was going to be a Heart of Darkness thing. There's a missing unit that's gone deep into Vanduul space, and you have to go find him and find that unit. We now know that that unit is headed up by Admiral Bishop.
Needs to be Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah, clearly a nod to Lance Henriksen's character in Aliens.
Wait a minute. Wait, is he an admiral or is he a bishop?
He's both.
God damn it.
I think he's an admiral named Bishop.
There you go.
I think it's actually a bit on point if Lance actually ends up being the voice actor. What do you guys think?
I'd be all for it. I would listen to him read a phone book, though. So.
Yeah, there you go.
I dread the idea.
Yeah?
Yes.
Maybe Trendane should be the voice actor for Admiral.
No, I mean, nothing against Lance as a person, but since he is a union voice actor, if they use him in the game, then they will not be able to use anything but union actors, which means I have no chance.
Oh, that's fascinating.
That sucks.
Anyway, carry on. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. It's Christmas. I don't know. It's Christmas.
Another point that he brought up was this would actually pre-campaign. This is one of the reasons why Bishop goes rogue. His daughter is a fighter pilot who sacrifices herself to save the Admiral. Which is an interesting point. In my article, I actually mentioned that this is dangerously close to what Gail Simone coined as fridging, where you introduce a female character simply to kill her off gruesomely and propel the male protagonist's story. But I also pointed out that this actually kind of stands that trope on its head because the female is the hero that saves the male.
Who then just goes off the rails. I mean, he's definitely not the protagonist.
Yeah. Well, he might be an anti-hero at that point.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, it's open to interpretation, and we know very, very little at this point.
Yes, and in fact, in Reverse the Verse this week, Ben said it's not that big of a spoiler because there's so much we don't know about that story. And I expect there to be a lot of twists and turns, and I've even been able to figure out some of the twists, which I won't spoil, because they would really be spoilers. But all of this is very interesting. To me, it actually points out that we're going to see a lot more about Squadron 42 in the coming month. Probably once the two new modules come out and get settled, then we're going to start hearing a lot.
Makes sense.
In other news, a citizen star of his own is retiring. Fiendish Feather.
No.
He's and Trend knows about this because he was just talking to Fiendish. Whatever he likes to call himself. I actually heard that his parrot is the actual Fiendish Feather. But anyway, he cites difficulties with CryEngine handling these new assets. The modularity system is really killing him. Even if he spends all the time to pull all of the modules together and shove it together manually, the CryEngine doesn't want to animate it, deal with it well. So on StarCast, he announced he's going to switch to Unreal 4 and maybe get involved with the Descent Underground crowd. Kind of sad.
Well, if the tools aren't there, they're not there.
Yeah, and I got into a conversation with Disco Lando about that. And it's sad to see, and I was hoping that some of the tools, they could maybe start thinking about getting some of the tools out there, but they say they can't really. There are licensing and finishing problems with.
I also got in a conversation with Lando, but it was about wrestling, so it's not really applicable.
Well, thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Clifford actually said he was talking to Chris about that. South by South. Very interesting. I think we have a new hope though. There's a guy named Teller. You can post that into.
Was that a Star Wars reference?
Is it? Not one I recognize. New Hope.
So we had a New Hope.
Yes, that's right. Teller is episode 4.
Ah, okay.
So
Does that mean Fiendish Feather was the prequels? 'Cause he needs way more credit than that.
Well, he was one of the best prequels.
So he was Revenge of the Sith. There you go.
I forget what the title is. I just think it was 3. Okay. So, Retaliator. How about that Retaliator?
How about that Retaliator? I wanted to talk about that all night. It's for sale.
It's for sale, yes. New brochure. The jump point's just out. I think with the package it's $200 and standalone is $175. Which
I can
those price
totally do
points-
that.
Yeah, that price point is interesting. Talk about it a little bit more later. Some people were going through the assets and found that there were 19 internal upgrade hard points. So that's going to be key in the modularity. So each of those hard points is presumed will be places where you can buy extra equipment and stick it inside of the tally. Equipment, or a modification of the room, stateroom or cargo or poker room. Throw a arena commander pod in there, something like that. So some people were frustrated about the labyrinthine layout and not enough pods, no social area. At least some of that will be fixable with the modularity system. I do have to wonder why there was only a door on one end of the bomb base. You end up, it felt to me like a FPS level that way. People just figuring out interesting ways of not being able to shoot through the whole layout. So I'm not sure how that's going to stay. They've said that they're listening. They don't agree with all of the criticism, but they're listening, and there probably will be some evolution. Jump Point is due out today. I don't think it's out yet. I haven't seen it. Last couple minutes. It's going to be a Retaliator. Was there more you wanted to talk about on that, Ricko?
No, from the fact that I want one.
You said we were going to talk about the pricing. Those prices you quoted are not what I'm seeing on the store.
Okay.
I heard it's $250 and $300 or $275.
$275 for the standalone, $300 for the package.
So it's the same
I
as
forgot to write it down, so you are undoubtedly correct.
it's the same as a Redeemer when it
I
came.
was like, I could melt my Taurus for one of those. That doesn't seem right.
And I want a Retaliator. I've always wanted one.
I stand corrected. Okay, getting back to my notes here. South by Southwest, by all accounts, a very successful show. They have a lot of new backers out of it, mostly through that new backer code that we made sure to spoil and spread widely. So very successful. Star Citizen was awarded Most Anticipated Game by South. Released a new video, Dreams. It was built on Imagine.
Right.
And pretty sexy. We were going through it. And, actually got in a conversation on Twitter because a guy said that there was only men at it. I know we had a conversation where we were trying to spot non-male figures in there, and it was kind of tough. Mostly because the females are all wearing jumpsuits. But there are actually females in there. Outside of that, it was just basically a great expansion on what we did before. Also out of that South by Southwest, Gamers Nexus, who's been doing some great coverage on Star Citizen, mostly a hardware review site.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a great interview with Chris Roberts and Richard Garriott sitting down and talking Zero G, which was hilarious because Chris Roberts is doing a space game, Richard Garriott does fantasy games, but Richard Garriott is an actual astronaut and has been in space. So Richard had a better comprehension of Zero G, actually schooling Chris a little. Talking about the fun games you can play by setting somebody still in the middle of a room in Zero G and they can't get anywhere.
Such a dick move.
Seriously. But Chris actually thought you could maybe do it, but Richard said, nope, can't. You're stuck. Until an external force comes there. you're screwed. That's a great interview. Why don't you
I am
link that for future reference?
Kill my watch account.
Well, nobody go watch it now. Just go ahead and
It's like
you guys can save those and watch those later.
I got it.
Because if you go off and watch that, you won't get to hear me talk about the Idris.
The Idris.
Yeah, the Idris frigate.
Okay, what about it?
So there's lots of rumors. Chris had said, the Idris seemed huge. Now it was like a small carrier, and there were some rumors that it had gotten bigger. We actually heard on Reverse the Verse that it actually hasn't gotten any bigger. Comments were about people observing how big the 240 meter version. They put 72 NPCs on it and still seemed rather empty. So they just didn't have a real grasp on how much they'd already blown it up. That's what that. And there's a whole huge thread about people arguing about how big it actually is, things like that on RSA forums, which has been hilarious to read. And as usual, evolved at least briefly into the NPC competence. That's always a lot of fun. So Idris has not grown. They're just trying to figure out how to make it seem well crewed. I kind of like the idea that there might be areas where the crew congregates, and then sort of alien style on the Nostromo, there's the below decks or the engineering section that don't have a lot of people wandering around in it most. That could lead to some gameplay, infiltrators or xenomorphs or something like that. They do have crawl space. Lines already. That could be a lot of fun. Comments? Anybody want to drool a little bit over the Idris?
No, because I can't afford one, so screw it.
I've got two.
I look forward to crawling through its Jeffries tubes one day in the future.
There you go.
Hide in the torpedo tubes. That's goofy.
So next up, Crytek. A lot of discussion about Crytek. The Crytek company teased this week that they would announce a huge licensee later this week. But they're kind of running out of week. You haven't heard from them. So maybe that got bound up in legal or something. Very interested to see how Crytek's going to pull its fat out of the fire. They are doing a lot of work on VR support. They showed a lot of that off during GDC. They've got a team of 50 people working on it. Much of that will be added to 3.7 and later, 3.8. Currently on 3.6. That's what a lot of people refer to as CryEngine 4. Kind of very funny that Crytek isn't much better about numbering the releases than CIG is. So Crytek says they are restructuring everything for 3.7, so that's going to be a big merge. Chris mentioned that they're going to be integrating CryEngine 3.7 soon, and that might be the last version that they intend to do a wholesale merge with. So that's kind of funny, considering a lot of the VR stuff might be later.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I mean, there's got to be a cutoff point at some point where they don't have to continually go back and rework things for the new engine revisions.
I agree. I kind of wish that Crytek would sort of let CIG lead a bit, or work things out, so that they could keep a common source. Maybe Crytek could even do something. Because I just think Star Citizen's driving the continued existing Crytek. I mean, not completely, but I think they're one of the biggest reasons Crytek's. But that might just be my perspective here in Star Citizen.
Yeah, we might have a slightly biased perspective.
True. So quick hits. F8 heavy fighter may never be sold. Might be military only. And the heavy fighter that we do get chance to buy, the Vanguard, formerly known as the Bulldog. Almost said pit bull. Bulldog. It's going on sale next week for $250, which is really close to the Retaliator's price. More than I thought they were telling.
Yeah.
But you guys corrected me. So that Vanguard must be really big.
Yeah. If it's within $25 of the Retaliator, it's got to be bigger than we've probably guessed.
On the other hand, they've been calling, at least some of the time, they call the Constellation fighter. So.
Okay.
So that's pretty big.
It's a very heavy fighter.
Yeah. Star Marine will have a $5 pass. There's an interesting conversation on RSI forums about doing away with the $5 passes. So far, RSI is not, CIG is not on board with that plan at all. I've actually taken the position that should do away with it because I see far too many new players try to join up, and then they download, they pledge, they download, you got the wrong pledge package, and they're sitting there going, "What? You're going to charge me $5 to leave the hangar? What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
it causes
they've taken a step in the right direction with that Fly Now button.
Yeah, they are. It helps straighten things out. It's just, I don't think it's good marketing, and I don't think it's worth the $5. I know why it's there, because the old Kickstarter stuff had only X number of alpha passes, alpha slots as they called them,
Right.
and they don't want to go back on their word. But I think at this point they're just kind of not helping anybody by sticking to it.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of me says that people who would complain about some sort of loss of entitlement, about, you said when I signed up there would only be this many people, you can't let anyone else in, just shut up.
Yeah. Seriously.
But I feel like that about a lot of things. So.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. And it's not, if it's hurting the game as a whole, if it's making it more difficult for people to come in and maybe excluding some people that don't want to deal with that crap, that hurts those same people because they want a good game, right? They want a game.
Being exclusionary for the sake of early backers feeling special, I don't support that at all.
Yeah, I think there are plenty of ways that early backers get the appreciation and thanks they deserve. I just don't think this one. So there was another little segment that I wanted to bring up. Augmented limbs. Where is the base DNA coming from? It was part of the Empire report. And I think that's interesting.
People.
Well, I'm sure if it's base DNA, but I thought it was more interesting that we might get Augs to use a Deus Ex term. I didn't.
Yeah, because they talked about cybernetic replacement parts before, but this is that report seemed to be directly referencing like biomechanical or biological limb replacement. Yeah,
enhancements, which it wasn't entirely clear we were going to be able to have enhancements. So we'll see how that goes. Looking forward to that. And did you guys see the Leviathan short, the space whaling thing? It's not Star Citizen related, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yes.
It's really cool, and it was hilarious. I threw it up as is this what space whaling and Star Citizen could look like? Twitter. Sexy as hell.
Space whales.
Yep, it's a teaser for a movie project that isn't green lighted yet. They're trying to get.
It's more like a proof of concept.
Right.
This is what we want to do.
Mm-hmm. People should check that out. I haven't seen it.
I'll put the link in the thingamabob. People can watch
That's
later.
it for the news this week. Check us out at citizenstarnews.com and on Twitter at CZENTAR. Zenstar.